Oh, hi there. Welcome to my campsite. I'm Jarrell. Like you, I'm just a normal, ordinary human being. I make video games for a living. I run my own game development studio. I make commercial and homebrew games, and I drink coffee. So, I just wanted to share some stuff that's been going on with you guys. Um, I've been just considering, I haven't started the actual work yet, but considering creating a game engine that will allow me to make RPGs for many different platforms. So I'm mostly targeting the legacy platforms. I've already spent years creating a modern RPG framework that uses that's made for Unity, and my previous project Breath of Thunder and some other upcoming games use the RPG framework that I made. But I want to be able to make games for older legacy platforms as well. A while ago, I was just trying to relax and play some Nintendo 64 and other platforms, and I thought to myself, oh, I'd love to play some RPGs. Come to find out, there are so many platforms out there that don't really have JRPGs, which is my absolute favorite genre. So it's just kind of bizarre to me that um, I haven't done a commercial JRPG. And it's pretty funny because I've spent basically the entirety of my professional career in game development working on the Silver Falls series. So I'm branching out now, and finally I'll get to make games in other IP and, of course, my favorite genre, which is JRPG. I'm still very passionate about legacy consoles, so some that I will be creating um, games for. I'm making games of all different kinds of genres and styles, of course, but this framework or engine that I am working on now, I'm only able to now just start conceptualizing it because I've done work on other legacy platforms, just small in-house tech demos that I have uh, uh, deployed test homebrew games onto these legacy consoles. So some of those platforms that I will be targeting include the Dreamcast. I really want to use the VMU. The Nintendo 64 with the buttons visible there. And of course you have things like, you have your PSP and you have your DS, and I've done 2 videos to show you how to set up software so you can develop games for those pretty easily. And I've just started the Game Gear. Special thanks to all the patrons who helped me acquire the Game Gear, the flash cartridge, the hardware needed to create my own cartridges. So when I make games for the Game Gear, I can put those on cartridges for you guys. So that's all thanks to the patrons. Um, I'll be targeting the Pokemon Mini, it's a lot of fun making games for the Pokemon Mini. I've already launched one game on here, which was a Kickstarter that we successfully got funded. So if you want to try that, that's Silver Falls Mini. I'll put the link to that in the description. It has an RPG battle system, which is simple. It wasn't meant to be hugely complex or anything, but you have a number of party members, and they're all different in their own ways, and it has an RPG battle system. So you can go ahead and play that for free. And I do have a Kickstarter active right now for Silver Falls Face Takers if you're interested in supporting Silver Falls Face Takers for the Switch. Other platforms I'll be targeting are the Nokia Goatsy, uh, the Game Boy Advance, and of course any other platforms out there. The whole idea is I'll create an RPG engine that's created in a way that takes into account the development environment of potentially any older legacy hardware for the most part. There are limitations, like, for example, I can't target, for example, the Atari 2600. It doesn't have a built-in um, engine for displaying text, and even displaying text is quite intense on memory. It's quite expensive. I have deployed test builds of ROMs to the Atari 2600. I'm making some Atari 2600 games because I grew up with that. I think it'd be pretty fun. But I'm still investigating things like the Vectrix, and other things like that. But other platforms like the NES, I can also target the Lynx as well. Got this cool flash cartridge. You guys should grab one of these. They're really inexpensive. These are great. You can put so when I make custom games, you'll be able to put them on the cartridge if you have a Lynx. So I'm creating this engine in such a way because I've worked on quite a few different platforms now. I have a stronger understanding of what I need to keep in mind when I'm creating a game engine so that I can create the core of the engine, and I know that okay, so for the Lynx, I'll need to adjust it in a certain way. I'll need it to adapt the code a certain way, and then for the game card, I'll adapt it a certain way. But I know that keeping those things in mind, I'll be able to create it in a way that it can be adapted very easily and quickly to different platforms. So I hope you're looking forward to that. I'm just a huge fan of JRPGs. It's my favorite genre, and I can't wait to get some games out on there. So I'll be starting out with very small projects. I'm not actively working on this because I have some commercial titles that I am finishing right now. I have some other homebrew that I was already developing, but I always set aside projects that I work on when I've done so much work on my commercial projects that I'm tired by the end of the day and I can't keep working on those. Then I have a smaller side project that I do to take a break. It's basically taking a break by doing more work, which sounds funny. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you have your commercial work, which is important. You focus on your energy and your effort on your commercial work, and then when you're tired, you have to take a break. But to take a break, I work on side projects to take a break, which is, it sounds funny, I know. So I'm still in recovery mode because I've put in very long hours for the past 9 or 10 months, so I'm just resting at the moment. And this is a project that is restful to me, whereas doing big commercial projects, that's extremely demanding. So I'm just resting a little bit. I'm just taking notes, and I'm probably going to start the actual coding of the engine and the setup and the workflow and the documentation for this little game engine. And our patrons will have access to ROMs during development. And over the next week or so, I will start posting some of my results to the Patreon. So our patrons, they will have exclusive access to that. They won't be made public, but you'll get to try it out on different consoles. And I'm especially excited for the Mini as well because this is quite easy to emulate. You can emulate it on so many different platforms, and it always looks cool. It's just got a great vibe. I really enjoy actually playing my games on the actual Mini. So I'll be making more. So the first project that I'll be working on that's going to use this RPG framework, that's going to target everything, will be called Forest of the Fallen Wizard, and it's not this huge, massive. Silver Falls is a huge series with a massive amount of lore, and it's hugely detailed, whereas Forest of the Fallen Wizard, it's a significantly smaller project. It's just a short, it's just a sort of a test JRPG for me that I can make very quickly. It's small, and it's just a way for me to develop my engine and then roll out a game onto all these different platforms. And again, it's only something that I would work on. It's not a main project. It's something that when I've already put in, 12, 13, 14 hours on my commercial work during the day, and I'm at the end of the day, I'm a little bit tired and I need to take a break, then I'll work on this RPG engine and do the homebrew stuff. So yeah, this is my new rest project. I refer to it as a rest project. So please look forward to that. Special thanks again to all the patrons. Thank you guys so much. You guys allow me to keep the lights on in the studio, and you also allow me to work on homebrew stuff with your contributions. And if you want to see RPGs on this stuff, especially on the N64, I was sort of dying to play JRPGs on the N64 because I grew up with the Super Nintendo. Obviously, I really just had so much passion for JRPGs. Not having any on the N64 was really heartbreaking for me. So now I will right wrongs and triumph over evil. I'm going to make JRPGs for the N64. And once I have this engine, it'll be easy for me to make games for different platforms pretty quickly. So thanks for watching. Okay, and kiss your dad on the lips for me. See ya.